Hello, and welcome to Gehenna Gaming's Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle, The Dark Ages. Beginning us tonight with a quote, as this episode is aptly named The Inferno. The more a thing is perfect, the more it feels pain and pleasure. Dante Alighieri from the Divine Comedy. With me tonight is my wonderful cast who has been absolutely amazing this entire season, both on screen and off screen. Wonderful people to work with and play with. Beginning tonight, let's introduce Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark U. Anderson. You may remember me from such past episodes as the last episode of The Dark Ages. I will be playing Abbott Aldrich.
Very good. Up next, we have Asta.
Everybody, I'm Dana Lee B on the internet, and tonight I'm playing Asta Sorensen, your Bruja.
Following Asta, we have Sister Hildegard.
Hello, I'm Casey. I'm going to be playing Sister Hildegard tonight, and you can find me everywhere at Calamity Casey.
Up next, we have our friend Mitch.
Hello, I am Mitchell. You can find me on all social medias at Penny for a Tale, and I'm just happy to be here again to answer those pressing questions everyone has had on their mind. And we'll get to it, don't you worry.
We always do. Last but not least, our friend Elliot.
Hi, I'm Elliot. I'm playing Violet tonight, and you can find me on social media at Chaos and Chaos Elliot. We'll see what Violet does tonight.
Indeed. And I am your storyteller, Rick Wheeler with Gehenna Gaming. You can find me on social media all over the place at my actual name or at Oops Alsetite, where I play tonight the various casts of story player characters, including one that some people love, some people hate. We'll see what he does tonight. But we're going to kick off tonight, still in the year 1198 in Marseille. To recap briefly, the abbot, the victim of a blood hunt, has just returned to Marseille, begrudgingly, under extreme powers of presence and blood bond, being escorted to Prince Gamaliel by Sister Hildegard. But as it's happening, something else is happening in our city. Asta Sorensen receives a number of letters, some of which are delayed by, well, up to 4 weeks, from a young medical student in Salerno named Katharina Alling. Many of them are cordial, updating her favorite aunt, who inspired her to become a medical professional, of her progress, her studies, her accolades in the field. The next few letters, she indicates that she has been dating an older woman who was another student at the university. About 2 weeks go by, and it seems the next letter she has broken off from this relationship. Yet this person keeps persisting. Karina is bothered and can't focus, eventually writing that she wanted to take a leave from her studies and no longer felt safe. The last one, written in much more frantic handwriting, is Katerina. This letter is from Pisa, not Salerno, several hundred miles up the coast of Italy. Aunt Asta, she attacked me. I felt overcome by rage, and in my defense I struck her with an iron. She fell out a window at the university and lay in the streets. They saying I pushed her, but I got away before they could take me away. Mother and father have condemned me, and there are those seeking my capture. Worse still, body of Penelope seems to have disappeared. And as I fled and arrived in Naples, I swear I saw her in the street at night following me. Now I'm running for my very life. I don't have anywhere else to go. I am making my way to Marseille, begging for your sanctuary. Your niece, Katerina Allen.
Inconvenient. But who am I to turn away family? I'll spend as much time as necessary and as many resources as I have to in order to make my haven accommodable to a mortal.
Even so, with your resources, you could even provide lodging for her in the city, fully furnished.
Seems like a better idea.
And so, you make those preparations. It'll still be some time before she arrives, likely a few nights. But Asta has unusual new responsibilities on her mind, I'm sure. Speaking of responsibilities, we cut to Violet, who's awaiting a guest, an unwelcome guest, at her home tonight.
Yep.
And as you walk through the streets looking for members of your council, more importantly, your coterie, you see the sister escorting Abbott up the street to likely visit Gamaliel. But you also see Salah at the docks, making his way in a different direction. Not following them, but he does spot you. Gives you a brief nod.
I nod back and walk towards him.
He waits a moment and then casually takes steps in your direction. Mrs. DeClaret, how are you?
Mrs. Oh, you're kind. Not yet.
What's on your mind this evening?
Well, you know that sticky situation I was in that I needed some help with?
Yes. Are you out?
No, I'm good. But I realized there is another thing I might need.
Whatever I have to help is yours. Are they coming for you?
They being... Oh, yeah. No. But I kind of told them about something with my discoveries at the ball.
You
and
told about the flies and the...
No, not the flies. They don't know about the flies. They know about the special blood.
No doubt they are coming.
Yeah, and I don't want to give up one of the main people who have been very kind to me, but I don't really know how to fix the situation without an infestation of my people.
They will come for him, won't they?
I don't want them to. He's done messed up things, very much, whatever those may be, and I don't trust the Bali for my life. But there
may be another way.
Another way.
Give them this. He hands you a small wooden box. Do you open it?
Yeah.
It is a kindred heart. Beating.
Is it still Who?
This is the heart of his bloodline.
Okay. It's not his heart, is it?
It is not his.
Okay. As long as no harm comes to Abbott.
No harm will come to Abbott. I promise this.
Okay. Can I try to do a small just insight?
Oh, absolutely. What are you looking to get insight on?
Detecting lies. You know,
Sure.
that did me well last time. That insight and
Let's do, insight and wits, because it's on the fly.
two successes.
I believe you're not trusting him all of a sudden.
Can't imagine why.
All right.
He's got a lot.
You believe him?
Of course I do. So I close the box and thank you for this gift because time was ticking, and this part is now time.
They may believe he is dead if you give this to him, which means they will not come back looking for him. It may be important that you phrase it as such.
That he is dead?
To protect him.
Okay.
Otherwise, they will look for the whole specimen, not just
They
the
do
organ.
not know it is him, though. I never said a name.
Oh. Well, if you want a full specimen, that can be arranged.
I bet you have your ways.
From time to time.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So I will just say I found this in research and I have confirmed sources. I think they'll believe it. I'm sometimes smart to my
They
cider.
are too excited to believe anything but the contrary.
You're probably not either. The Tremere are kind of smart, but they're kind of stupid.
They will nerd.
Oh, yeah.
They will nerd out. Simply take it and go. I am most positive.
Well, thank you for your gift. It is much appreciated.
For a friend.
For a friend.
He walks away. Where do you head next?
Let's head back to my place and put the lovely box on a good shelf. After coming to the docks, or coming from the docks.
Yeah. Not long after you do, Fleur comes in from the outside. Those stones are starting to glow on the patio.
Okay. Go where you normally go when this happens, and you don't have to be here if you don't want to. It's fine. I know
I'm gonna be here, and I'll just cloak. We practiced.
That's true. You've done so good, and I don't think he'd be able to tell that you're here. You're so good. Just stay still. Okay?
Okay.
Even if it seems dangerous, stay still. Otherwise, your cloak will drop.
I'm gonna wish the cloak stayed up if I had to move.
I believe in you.
Not long after, there is almost like a blue flame coming up from those rune stones, a circular pattern. In the patio, etched in stone themselves, not long after you see your sire, Alexander Lebeau, 3 other Tremere. Violet! What do we got here?
Oh, just good research. I got something for you.
Yeah, where are you gonna lead us to?
Yes, of
that
course.
Special.
The special place. So I lead him from a patio and open the back door and let them in.
Oh, thank you. Such hospitality.
Tremere to Tremere, come on. Who am I?
Right. Well, you know, I said I talked to some of the people in the pyramid, and they're all very excited about this. What we thought was extinct bloodline. We're hoping to take the kindred back.
I couldn't find the kindred, but I got something close.
Well, what do you
trust
got?
me. So Violet goes over to like her bookshelf with all the nice, pretty things. You see some skulls of humans, some skulls of not humans, and she goes to the top shelf of what she can reach, and she grabs a box and walks over to Alexandre. Open it.
This must be a very small kindred, Violet.
Hiding, you know.
Oh. This will do.
I thought you would say that.
I mean, we can't make a whole gargoyle out of it, but this should suffice.
I think it's good for research purposes.
Well, we can feed it blood and just pull more blood out of it.
That would be the ideal.
Yeah, maybe we can make a full kindred out of this. Has anyone embraced someone from a heart, guys? And a couple of the other Tremere are like, worth a shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Violet, you have outdone yourself.
I told you I had this.
Well, we'll have to bring you back to the pyramid sometime, but it's a matter of most importance that I get this back. We do have to do our bonding ceremony, however.
Of course.
Rules are rules.
Gotta abide.
One of the other Tremere hands him a small chalice. He cuts his wrist, bleeds into it, and hands it to you. And I will never violate your trust, Violet. You know that.
Why would you? You've given me so many gifts. And Violet drinks.
See? I told you. You had nothing to worry about, guys. She is even keel. Best child.
Oh, you're too kind. I'm your only child as far as I know.
As far as you know.
As far as I know.
So, yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
They'll be in touch.
Of course, always.
And they take their leave back to wherever it is they came from. As soon as they're gone, Fleur walks in. We should break those fucking stones as fast as we can.
Know.
They're creepy.
I know you haven't seen them in a while, and I swear they get creepier like every time.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we gotta break those as soon as we can, and it was told to us that we probably should anyway, but this night was going to have to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got 3 months to figure it out.
Yeah, worst case scenario, they come back garage and fuck them.
Yeah, you know, I've moved on. You know, they can't. I can't say they can't find me. They'll do their best.
Okay. You're busy. I'm gonna do some gardening. You probably have bigger things going on, from what I remember.
Yeah, I need to go have that talk with the prince for things and such. I swear, it's beneficial.
Give him my best.
I will. He loves you, so he's probably going to beg me to bring you next time. So
She gives you an I love you and hugs you before you go.
I hug her back and I make my way up.
As Sister Hildegard brings Abbot Aldrich to Princess Domain, she has passed a letter on her way in. Do you read it now, or do you like to wait?
I will read it now, but sort of holding it like when you're reading a text and you're like not letting the person next to you see the dirty picture you have on your phone.
Sneaky. It reads, "Dear sister, thank you for the information provided. Per our agreement, I have obtained an invitation for you to a private meeting at Castle Hunadora. There, you will have what you have asked for. Tell your council we appreciate their cooperation in providing the letter with the location of the abyss mystic known as Miriam. The prince had the sea cave raided by day, and it was collapsed with cannon fire. We trust that this will keep both of our domains safe from this threat for the foreseeable future. Dondini, parentheses, Sam, monitor of Genoa."
I will fold the letter and tuck it into my scapular and just like in the belt and just I'm holding Abbott's hand and leading him along as if nothing happened. But sort of internally geeking out with my sister.
In your head, your sister is a little chattier than usual. Did you send a letter to Genoa? What was that about? I mean, other than what I saw that we told them, it seems like there was more.
I can't keep secrets from you.
Never can. But I know you only sent one letter.
We'll get to the bottom of this. But not now.
I'm going to let you have no distractions from me this evening. And I don't envy,
sister.
I love you too, and I don't envy what your heart's about to go through.
Yes.
Do you think
I
you
don't
can
know.
be saved?
I believe anyone can be saved. But while I know what he has done to my friend, it hurts worse. The betrayal of another kind.
I will never betray you, sister.
I know. Which is why, as much as I love you and cannot wait for you to have your host, I miss you being so close to me.
And I you.
I will look at Abbot Aldrich. We are getting close. Are you excited to see our sovereign?
Colder in here. Why is it so cold in here?
Well, I don't know.
I am very excited. This is gonna be. This is what is to come.
He loves you, you know.
He shouldn't. I'm broken.
I believe that is why he loves you. Gamaliel is nothing if not a master craftsman. And perhaps he wants to mend your heart.
My concern is that when he runs out of things to mend, I won't be as exciting anymore.
You'll find new things to mend. Now,
Everybody.
come
Okay. Let's go.
on. Don't get all dreary on me. I just got you back.
You know, when I call you sister, I don't mean it by the cloth. I do mean sister.
I know. And you are my family as well.
We don't have a lot.
We don't.
Let's go see the Sovereign.
We'll get you all fixed up.
Yes. Everyone is so concerned about fixing dear old Abbott.
Abbott. Would you not want to fix me if the roles were reversed?
There is absolutely nothing to fix about you, sister, because you are perfect.
That is not true. Abbott, look at me. I don't keep mirrors in my home.
You should.
Come on.
Let's go, fair maiden.
I smack his chest.
I walk ahead. I walk forward.
We enter the court of Sovereign Gamaliel. Asta Sorensen is likely giving him a dossier of kindred she has compiled that live in Marseille, those who have recently moved here after the calamity, seeking his hospitality.
No longer important. Let's talk some other time.
Of course.
How are you, by the way?
I do believe I'm getting on better than most these nights.
Do you love anyone? Has anyone excited you in the last couple days?
Sadly, no. Been a little busy.
Well, let's make some time.
Anything for you, Sovereign.
Excellent. Let me get you a chair. He gets one of his slotchka and kind of just do like kind of lay down and form a chair for.
This long, stringy man is very bony, but at his joints, they look reinforced with impeccable muscle. Begins to fold himself, almost reverse yoga, into a chair-like position. The part where you would actually sit is softer looking and even fleshier. But he is not a monstrosity. He is beautifully sculpted, skin intact. Almost. Go ahead.
As you can tell, the pubic hair makes a nice little cushiony buffer. I removed the phallic item on your chair, but my chair, I keep it intact. If you ever want to experiment with it, let me know. You can make a meeting of your way more enjoyable.
When that happens, I'll let you know. And I, without even like blinking an eye or anything, sit upon my new chair.
At this point, Violet would be entering from the back towards the throne of the sovereign, about as the abbot and sister walk in.
Violet,
My sovereign.
would you like to sit with me?
Always. Of course.
Excellent. He'll bring another chair over with nice cushion pubic hair.
So, you know how we had a previous agreement for the information I gave you about our dear friend?
Remind me, was it to please you in a way that no other individual can?
It might. And she sees the two walking forward. Good timing, huh?
Yeah. Sister Hildegard.
Yeah.
You beautiful creature. Come forth. Abbot, on your knees and stay right there, please.
I will approach Gamaliel and come very close and lean in like I'm about to kiss his cheek, but instead press my cheek against his and whisper in his ear, "You need to fix this." And I sort of nod back to Abbott.
Would you like a seat?
Right here. Thinking you mean your lap, of course.
Oh, well, I mean, of course. If you'd like, you may.
That's someone else's seat. I will stand.
Oh, it's a seat for whoever I offer it to. If you would like to place your tuchus upon it, it would greatly please your sovereign.
I'll take a read check.
All right. Abbott.
The abbot holds his arms out in a Christ-like pose and lowers himself down onto his knees and kind of puts his hand in together as a sign of oration and respect. I am no longer an abbot. I have taken off my vestments and I present myself to you, Sovereign, my dear Sovereign, as Aldrich of Canterbury, High Priest Emeritus of Marseille, Abbot of a dying order, and self-appointed anti-pope of France. I'm sorry I ruined your party.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for. Everything else doesn't really matter. The Pope is going to die soon, and I might do it, or might off him myself within the next couple of days, if I fancy. It seems like God is no longer between you and I. Oh no.
You stunned him with your beauty. Mark may be frozen.
God, it's such a cock block.
I know, right?
Thanks.
Dude.
Thanks, deity.
You know, couldn't handle the gam. That's it.
Mark is back, I believe.
Yes.
Abbott, there is nothing between you and I, God. I think in one day will be your own words. Is underneath your knees, face down, and all you have to do is walk forward over them.
I'm not a dog, Sovereign. I once was your dog. I miss that sometimes. But there are sacrifices that I made. And faith is important. Not just faith in what's hereafter, but faith in what's here. And I have seen in the very short period of time, you as sovereign do quite amazing things. As I said before, the crown fits nicely on your skull.
You anger me. Aldrich.
I know.
I don't like being angry. I don't like you being compared to a dog. I am not a sexual creature whose appetite wants subservience. I want equals in the bedroom and equals upon the throne. You're only a dog because you viewed yourself as a dog. I want to rise you up to be the man that I know you to be. And that's why I'm in love with you.
And this is why I refuse to crawl to you. And Abbott stands. I used to sit at your feet like a dog. I didn't sacrifice our love. I sacrificed the boy that was living inside of me. And now I stand here as a man in front of an angel. And I request from the court to let me do my work. Because I have never loved you more than I love you now.
The council would like to know what your work is. What is it now, Aldrich?
Marseille was controlled by false faith. I've taken away all of these religious symbols in this city. I have replaced the money system so that there are no more Christian symbols in this city. My work is simple, Sovereign. I would much rather have them worship you than worship God.
God and I have always been equals. I need something else from you. That is a task for me. That is, I want something. What makes Aldrich happy? Something that has nothing to do with me.
Ascension. I would like to ascend. I can't stop thinking about the importance of Salah and how goddamn wonderful this.
It's what?
I can't say it. My tongue won't let me.
You sent me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I would put my hand on the sovereign's shoulder and lean in, whispering in his ear again. I saw what was done. He is bound by the Emir of Chains.
Hmm.
And then I stand back up, just like, you know, spooky council lady behind you.
Aldrich, this confounds things.
Haven't you seen his work? His work.
Who's mine?
Salah.
What about him?
Min erased like that and risen again? I ran, Sovereign. I ran from my friends, all of you. I ran from my city. I ran from my responsibilities, and more importantly, I ran from my own fear. And he brought me back. Praise be.
Surprised you're not choking.
It's the positive words that I can say about Salah. It's the dirty ones that my tongue won't let slip out.
Well, you're no good to me like this. Violet, does your clan have anything to fix this?
Would they, by the way, storyteller?
Breaking bonds.
I could. That's a thing that I can't do, though, right? Yeah, no, that's too high powered.
Well,
Oh, this is out of character, by the way.
same. There's nothing to say in the rules for V5. You have extinguished Fate.
I do. Okay.
I'm going on a hypothetical limb here of how this power could work. Could drain Albert's blood reserves to 0 into a hunger state of torpor. Burn all the fuel out of him so that nothing remains. And feed him regular human blood. It's possible.
So Violet turns to Gamaliel. Well, I do have one option, but it's not going to be pretty. I can do it, but it's not going to be pretty. I could extinguish his vitae. We'll need some human blood to circulate through him and try to replenish his blood back. That's the best I can do without any further research that I do not have, unfortunately, at this moment. Future moments I might, but in this current, for what we need to do now, that is the best I can offer.
Next time a higher ranking Tremere appears, you should let me know. I'd like to have one day.
Trust me, they really like me right now. So
I'm sorry, did you say extinguish?
Yes.
it's all I can do.
That word was tossed around.
I
We
have
feel you with untainted blood.
But first you have to extinguish mine.
Yep.
Yep.
Have you ever done something like this before, Violet?
Once.
Once. How'd it go?
Very well, actually. I may not be the most emotionally intelligent Tremere. I've made my mistakes. And I look at Sister. But when it comes to my craft, I am the best, and my sire regards me very highly.
I've got apprehensions about this.
Well, luckily, it's not up to you.
Of course not.
Hildegard and Sorensen, what say you?
I am a medical professional, both kindred and kind. I can oversee this procedure as it happens.
And I trust Asta with my life to make sure that your life, unlife, is safe.
I would rather have to put you through this than to see you bound in chains. But I believe once it is over, you will understand it was the right thing to do.
Well, I will find peace one way or the other. If we were to do this, I would need a moment with my monks. Just, they're very important to me, and Mila, I just in case.
You'll have a day.
I just want
This
to
night.
say goodbye.
This night you may
If
do as you
you-
please.
If you would like, your monks, would you prefer their blood? Since they have your old, I'm assuming if they're Gould, but if you would like the comfort of your monks.
I don't think you understand, Violet. It's not necessarily the comfort that I need.
Okay.
It's the comfort that they need.
Okay.
They are very pious and loyal and will be lost. Before this, they were dangerous and awful. And I'd rather, if this goes south and I'm not here anymore, I would rather
make
them
sure you are.
to have a moment with me.
Abbot Aldrich, this is very important to you. Would you
Extremely.
like to make a roll to try and persuade those in your coterie, in this council, to try and let you have a moment? Coterie, you may oppose this roll if he so chooses to roll for it.
Now, one point of order here, I'm not asking to leave this place. I'm merely asking for a room and some moments with the Order of the Austere Shadow. And yes, afterwards, you could surely use their, not Mila,
I won't.
but the monks, yes. My brothers, yes. But that is what I'm asking. A room and my order for just a small period of time. Small!
You can have all night.
Aldrich, I promise you, as your friend, as your sister, that if something goes wrong, I will see that they are taken care of.
I would 100% believe her. If I fuck this up, I know my life is in the sister's hands.
It is.
And I want nothing more than to save you and help you.
Aldrich is the most important thing right now. I'm making sure that he gets his wits back about him. You know that I am capable of finding a place for them, and that they would be well treated, and they would continue to serve.
They would serve you well.
They would not serve me.
I know. They
I'm
would
not
serve
that
him well too.
important.
You might do better than me.
What? That is my promise to you, my friend. You have my word. And my word is my bond.
Okay. Okay.
Do you trust me?
You're my coterie. Of course I don't trust you.
That
That's
is
the
wise.
correct answer. You'd be a
My
fool
man.
not to.
You serve the sovereign, and their will be done. On earth as it is in heaven.
And now.
And
I'm present everywhere.
I hope so. Because I don't know where I'm going after this. But wherever I'm going, I hope I see you again.
It'll be fine.
Are you contesting the role?
Nope.
I love you.
I know.
My moment. And then we'll get weird.
And if I may, Sovereign,
Mm-hmm.
while that is being prepared, I would like to have a moment with you as well.
Excellent. I look forward to it. Let's go to this other room then.
It's not that kind of moment.
Other rooms can be used for multiple things, Hildegard. I know you well enough to know that it is not that easy. So, just wander over to this other room, you and I, and have our discussion.
Once we were in the other room, I joked once that I would be your memento mori. I spoke to Regis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Suffice to say that once this is all sorted out, I have some political advice from the other side. Those who he trusted, those who he did not, those who would be powerful allies for us, and friends to my side. I think it is important that we discuss what I know. This is clearly not the time, but I wanted to make sure I told you.
What is it you want to tell me?
It is likely that Regis knew of Aldrich and his bloodline. And I don't know if you can do anything about that. But I believe you are the man for the job if there is one. And I also know that he is the reason Miriam, the mystic, the abyss mystic, attacked our city.
Regis is.
He caused a bit of an embarrassment. He was not forthcoming with the information, but he did say it was likely that she reacted in response to his actions.
Mm.
I also know that our friends in Genoa have confirmed that she is either dead or locked in a cave. What has been caved in, if you will.
If you would, put the word out that I want to see Regis immediately.
See, like, when a prince is dead and you bring him back, it's not something I can. Oh, I could certainly try. I'll try for you, Sophie. Yes, and you can have a discussion with him. A ghost? Are you able to
No,
communicate.
I'm not. It's a ghost?
Well, he's dead.
Okay, I was. All right.
Remember we went through his things?
Yes, I just, with returning kindred and all that, I wondered if it was the same way with him.
Oh no. This was my own special brand of stuff.
Oh, excellent. All right, well, let him know that I took his stuff and burned his house down.
Yeah.
And now I'm Prince. So
He's
I'm
aware.
going to move on.
But he did provide us with good information, and I hope I will write it down for you and make sure that you are aware of who and what is important to know.
Excellent. You are wonderful, in regard. Were you ever pleased in the manner that required that boon?
Yes.
Ooh, how many times during that night?
I ran out of fingers.
Oh, yes. Oh my god, ghosts a lot.
But, we're kind of in this pickle. He did this thing to Abbott, so I'm like, I don't know what to do now, it's...
Hey, you can have a fuck buddy and not have it affect your work.
Yeah. But we should probably handle this. This is pretty important.
Yeah, that's important too, but I understand your meaning. Also, I can give you more fingers if you want.
I know you could. More
Alright.
concerned with this.
This is also important. All right, let's return. We'll send word to get the monks, Aldrich's precious little monks. They can chat, and then we will fix up the abbot in every way possible. Oh, yeah.
Abbott,
Yes.
are you going to your room for your private time?
Yes, I would like to take my monks with me into a private room, if I may.
Yeah, you can have the wet room.
The wet room, how appropriate.
Mhm.
Brothers, let's go to the wet room.
The tongueless monks follow you. 5 in total.
Oh, I have a monk, right? You sent me a monk with his face sewn up in a blood bag and all that.
Yes, Sovereign, I sent you a naked monk in a chest holding a bag of blood, which you told me I don't even know how many years ago that it was a kind of Valentine.
It is a Valentine's. Thank you.
That's yours, by the way. My blood and the monk.
I'll use them well.
I know you will.
Enjoy your monks.
Enjoy your court.
Make sure to hydrate.
Oh, I will. And I walk into the wet room. And I'm very interested in what the wet room looks like.
Oh, it's an arboretum. Very moist with several plants and stuff like that, like glass. It's just moist and humid. It's a wet room.
We're very moist in here. I have my monks come in and I close and I lock the door.
You have the scene, Abbott. You've already made the roll.
My
What do you do?
brothers, I speak to you. All of you have served me. And more important, you have served the shadow of the Almighty. This order runs very deep. It runs longer than your lives. And you have dedicated those lives to service of the Almighty. I want you to continue your work. there is a penance that we all must pay some days. Sacrifice has been the general theme of our order. We have sacrificed things near and dear to us. For some of you, it is belongings, family members, children, tongues. Don't forget your tongues. I almost forgot. You're so quiet. Comfortability. There is an initiation which I must give you, which will rise you all above your station, further towards the shadow of the Almighty. A mortification of the flesh. I want you to lash yourselves, and I will join you in the lashing. And I'm going to look for like any kind of, I mean, there's things growing in here, right? So there's switches and like, you know, sticks that we can...
Reeds with thorns and
yeah, there's a cat of nine tails in every room.
Oh, I take the cat of nine tails. And I hand off switches to all of the... and branches to all the monks. And I whip my back.
They begin whipping themselves. One to their own back, one to the back in front of them, one to their own back, one to the one in front of them, beating each other until enough time passes. They start losing blood. They start getting weak. It takes a long time with their fervor.
I walk between them and I lash myself and I paint my hand on their backs and I lick the blood. I take my hand and I brush it on the wall. I take my hand and I brush the blood on the door.
Some of them rip their own shirts off, cat of nine tails more, and begin to smear their own bodies coated in blood against the walls.
Let us pray and let us bleed. Azanil of plague and fear, Acaphelos, the bornless one, O lion serpent son, the beast that whirleth forth, liberate me. Let the children come to thee. Hear me, and make all spirits subject unto me, and every spell and scourge of the Almighty may be obedient unto me. O spiritual son, Satan, thou lust, pry open the maw of the underworld so that we may pass into the abyss.
The blood on the walls makes the room, the world of the room fade away. It is now a 4x4 cube-shaped portal into hell itself. As you look beyond the world, encapsulated by this room, there's still the door. You can walk through it, but you could walk straight into hell itself, straight into what seems like forever. Fire, stalactites, rivers of blood, lava, and all sorts of hellish creatures. Some rise from the ashes like zombies out of a peat bog. They grab your monks, enter their bodies, and become changed. The flesh adapting as the spirit puts on a new suit. The skin stretches. Spikes protrude from their face, their arms. They bow to you.
Transfigured before me, truly.
Still tongueless.
I'm going to look behind them through the portal. I'm in a hopeful stare into the abyss to see if the abyss stares back, to see if I can spy Azanil or any of the others that I've heard so much about.
You hear a buzzing from above you. It gets louder, like a modern helicopter. And a teenage boy who's like a centaur, but from the waist down, insectoid, lands and caresses your cheek.
God, I thought you forsaken me.
They changed you. They've robbed you of your godhood. Let's show them. I need you to open the door, Abbott.
Open the door, Abbott. Open the door, Abbott.
Now, Abbott!
And the abbot runs towards the door and throws it open.
The monks, now demons, rush into the prince's abode, into the streets. Well, not in the streets. Into the building. Into Marseille. The boy, fully revealed, standing roughly 8 to 9 feet tall, with as many legs, bending down and forming through the 6x3 doorway, right behind them. And he picks you up. You ride on his thorax.
He's like a dragon. He's like my dragon.
He's your new dragon.
Just like in the story. You know the one. The woman who rides naked on the dragon. I'm the son who rides naked on the dragon. And I rip off all of my clothes.
You are naked.
I think of Salah for a second. And I try to hate him.
It's hard, but not impossible.
What now, boy? What now?
You don't need them. They were your stepping stool to this.
We hear this, right? They're coming up in my room.
Why, yes. For those who are beyond the walls of the wet room, you see this. First of all, 5 demons wearing the tattered robes covered in blood of the monks that followed him in are now demonic forms, elongated hands, legs, spiky, gray-skinned eyes of fire, gaping maws full of teeth. Just barbaric. Behind him, that youth, the demonic plague upon Marseille, upon France, upon the world. Revealed. Not the boy you saw in memory, perhaps at a distance or in a dream, but an insectoid, centaurish nightmare. A kindred, but not like one you've ever seen or heard of. On its back, like a child, riding a mechanical animal you put a quarter in at the grocery store. It's Abbott. The sickening smile. When the boy talks, those in the room hear nothing but chittering and the buzzing of flies. Unintelligible. Abbott, you hear him clear a spell, speaking your language. Everyone else, it's...
Okay.
Good one.
I'm gonna look
Mind
at the boy.
translating.
Yeah. Hey, boy, shut the fuck up when grown men talking. Aldrich, what is going on?
Aldrich is dead.
I have a question, storyteller.
Yes.
Can I ask Bridget to take over Abbott?
Yes. Also, sister, do you feel as though you are in danger?
Absolutely, yes.
From below the monastery, the crypt, recently renovated by a very generous benefactor, a number of the bodies down there stir and rise. They wake from their crypts lying on flat stone surfaces. Masquerade be damned. They begin to rise
They are all dressed as lepers.
and walk up the stairs through the city to the sovereign's palace.
Abbott,
Bridget,
I have dealt with you enough. I am no longer your sister. I am your mother, and I will spank you if I have to.
The boy won't hurt you. The boy won't hurt you. You won't hurt her, will you, boy?
he doesn't answer you.
That doesn't sound like
Monks
an answer.
rush towards Asta, Gamaliel, Violet, and sister. If you want to give me a wits and awareness, we can see who is quick enough. Sovereign Gamaliel, this is your home. You are a dragon.
Unleash hell. Unleash moist, wet hell upon them. And I will call forth my denizens of despair. And I myself will join in the fray as I start changing.
Mm.
What up, Violet? What you doing?
One success. One success for the role you asked for. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I also have celerity if that plays into effect at all.
Wait, do I?
Elliot. And so sister and Gamaliel tie. Elliot was a 1. Abbott?
You're breaking my heart, Aldrich.
What are we rolling again? I'm sorry.
A wits and awareness, please. Asta, you had a pretty good number, if I recall, right?
4.
4. You're the fastest in the room. You roll for other things. Oh, you guys are better. Asta, actually tell me what each of you is doing, and we'll let that sequence of events unfold based on those scores.
Not everybody all at once.
Well,
Well,
as my horde is getting here, I would like to try to have my sister take control of Abbott Aldrich.
Is it possible for me to do unseen presence? As I see, by chance?
You would almost have to run and get behind something. If eyes are on you, you can't disappear.
So
That is vanish.
I am. I think I'm going to be drunk on the pleasurable feelings and the excitement about riding my new dragon, and I'm going to try to rise a vile swarm again as a simple measure to kind of impress the boy as I ride him. With no real direction for the swarm, but chaos.
Just to fill the room and distract.
To fill the room and distract, but also to kind of get drunk on my own power here.
Sure. Give me the roll for that. Violet, I did send you something that we had talked about before that you can do. Sister, your people are on their way. Your sister will roll to try and... Actually, Gamaliel Abbott was a little faster than you, so what he's doing will happen first. However, your sister will try to overcome.
I got 8 successes.
8 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that works. Abbott, can you please give me a composure and intelligence roll?
Definitely.
Four. Okay. Asta is the quickest. What would you like to do, Asta?
As I have seen the boy before in the mind's eye of a ghoul once upon a time, I look to them. I'm done with this. I would like to use metabolic theft.
Mm-hmm.
Succeed on my rouse check.
Excellent. Give me the roll. See how many ways you want to enact this ability. How many ways will it affect them? For each margin of success, you can choose all 3 of the options here.
Going to spend a willpower to reroll some blank dice.
Mm-hmm.
That is 8 on a crit.
God. That was a 1.
Yeah, nice roll. Oh my god.
Asta.
Even on a willpower 4. You can do all 3. Something very strange happens to the boy. Insectoid beast that is immeasurably tall and grotesque. The body of a teenage young man. Abbott, you feel it. His unnatural movements of all of his legs. Almost hard to keep your balance. It stops and slows. What happens to the boy's body is you feel the pulsating heart, possibly hearts, of this being, this god that you worship. They beat so slow, you would If you were a nurse taking its pulse, you would have thought it was dead. It is unable to rouse the blood, to heal or use disciplines, all but every other turn. Asta, however, can use 2 disciplines a turn, heal twice a turn, blood buff twice a turn. At the risk of running out of fuel, of course, the boy has the opposite. The boy is impaired. He looks like a mortal who was struck in the head, dumb, reeling as the blood is moving so slowly in his body that it's causing him pain and confusion. Even the begins to slow in a haunting way for you.
No. It's not supposed to go like this.
From then, Abbott's insects burst through the windows. Swirling around himself are mayflies and gnats and mosquitoes, making him hard to see. Those who were to try and shoot him with an arrow would find it hard to make out his silhouette in the swarming flies around him, expanding like a globe. At this point, Gamaliel becomes something completely different. Gamaliel, why don't you describe what it is you are becoming as your Shlachka servants, not the ones who are chairs, the ones you've made for a different purpose, enter the room. Hands as knives, faces with swordfish-like spears, almost like mosquito people.
Yeah, they have their hands and arms and dicks, as well as other pointy spots replaced with daggers and swords. Their lower jaw has been cut off, and every teeth has been sharpened down and elongated. The tongue itself is sharp at the end of it with serrated bone. Their eyes have been replaced with knives, and Gamaliel joins them in this dance of macabre and pointy death. As his chest opens up in his spinal column, kind of twists and back ends, a large face pushes through his chest cavity, elongating into a very long neck, almost reminiscent of the Thing, with sharp teeth and several tongues slipping out of its mouth. His mask becomes a faceplate for this visage, as 2 other heads also erupt from his chest, each one with a sewn-up face and the other with sewn-up ears, as they gaze incredulously at the carnage. His hands start to multiply, almost like spider legs of twisted flesh, each one carrying 6 claws, and his kind of tail just stretches out. It's almost a mix of a human centipede and the Thing all together as he is going to rush forth. He does not like being this ugly, but Daddy has to take Aldrich home.
There's the man I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Right about this point, those demonic figures rush and go to assault Violet, Asta, and the sister. Do you want to give me a Dex and Athletics to see if you can dodge their assault?
Two successes. Out of 3.
1 success.
Oh no.
Asta, you may have rapid reflexes.
I do indeed have rapid reflexes. Got a 5 on a crit.
That's our Asta.
She's been waiting for this moment.
One of those
Yeah.
demons tackles Elliot to the
Violet.
floor. Violet, oh my god.
Don't tackle Elliot. We like Elliot.
Tackles Elliot to the floor, raising a clubbed hand, striking you several times for 3 bashing damage. Are you striking them back with something you may have
Yes,
brewing?
I am. While I'm being hit, at the same time, fire is starting to form in my hands, and I am punching back.
Why don't you give me a brawl? And you can use your strength or your dexterity on this one.
I'm going to use strength.
Cool.
I got some help.
Cool.
I'm winking. You can't see it though.
Oh, for those who don't know, Violet also had another favor where she is like thick thighs, by the way.
The thickest thighs we have made them.
Yeah.
Still like.
It's
thighs.
fantastic. Flair's still a little bit better.
THICC.
Yeah.
4 successes.
2 successes. It's clubbing you, and it doesn't see this fire erupting from the palm of your hands that you're a smart person. You know where you can hit someone to do some damage. You whack them where both of their ears are with flames bursting out. Their head catches on fire. They scream, but they don't have a tongue. The rest of their hair, which is now running down their back, another thing that mutated with them, catches on fire. It runs off of you and into a wall for the time being.
Good.
The sister, another one rushes you, grabs you, but before it can do its strike, is grabbed by a very disgusting looking corpse. And then another. And another. There are about 12 leper-like corpses who dogpile this demon and begin biting and tearing it apart. It's the body of a man. It may be filled with a demon, but it's still only mortal in some ways. Before long, they tear it to shreds as it's at your feet. They form a wall around you. Asta. Actually, Gamamil is next. Gamamil, what is your play? You have transformed. Your Schlotchka take down 2 of the other demons with these. About 4 remain. But you see the boy staggered
Yes.
by whatever Asta did to it.
There's only one person that matters here as I activate Feral Claws in this monstrosity, and that's Aldrich.
To deal with the boy itself, you do have something else in the shed,
I
if you
do.
wish to call upon it.
Not yet. I want to deal with these myself.
I understand.
Daddy's displeased.
What do you do to Aldrich riding on the back of this stunned creature?
I'm gonna punch him in the goddamn face.
Give me the roll. Abbott, you may wish to Dex Athletics. For Mitch, this is a feral claw weapon attack of Which is a sovereign.
I'm gonna rouse the blood just to give me a little bit more defense here.
You may.
How much does rouse of blood?
It's one rouse check, and it gives you up to your blood potencies worth of a blood buff, which could be somewhere around 4 dice with your generation potency. Ooh. Because Dark Ages is when you blood buff. So you get that many successes?
Yeah.
You almost ran out of fingers. Good thing yours meets. I was trying to find more dice and some prayers.
What did you get?
Doesn't matter what you got. What did you get?
7.
9.
Fuck.
Gamaliel, you tell me what happens.
Excellent. Yeah, he's just gonna come up, rear back, and haymaker the fucking Aldrich, trying to get him the fuck off of his horsey.
It happens. Are you using your claws with this attack, or are you just punching him with your claws?
Claws, yeah. They're kind of like they're fists, but the claws kind of erupt from his hands.
Yeah. What is your strength?
5.
+2 with the feral.
They're like dusters.
Yeah, exactly.
You take that in superficial damage, Eldritch.
How many?
What was it, 7?
Yeah, 7. 5 plus 2.
Did you feel your track?
Yeah. yeah, I feel my track with superficial damage.
You fall off the boy. You fall to the floor. Do you wish to heal?
No.
Heal, damn it! Heal!
You lying arms out on the marble,
Full Christ pose.
about 10 feet away from the boy as you were knocked off this thing. Asta, 2 of those things rush at you. One of them strikes you in your back for the 2 damage. It actually got a better roll than you did. However, you're so fast, you can counterattack that one and the other who missed. Don't forget, oh, you're muted. Don't forget, you have stolen the metabolic powers of the boy. You can do a number of things. You can heal twice per turn, blood buff, 2 different attributes, and activate 2 different disciplines in 1 turn.
I would like to do all of the above.
That is amazing. You totally should.
So I will roll to heal.
This is the most Bruja of Bruja, y'all.
Regain all of my healing, and I do not get hungrier.
Cool. You can also rouse reroll quite a bit too because of your blood potency.
Mm-hmm. So that was to heal. Okay. I would like to activate both Daunt and Prowess.
Mhm.
Prowess requires a rouse check.
Yes.
I succeed again. And then I would like to... You said attributes?
Yep. With a blood surge, you can add up to 4 dice.
I just have to rouse the blood twice?
For 2 different stats, you would rouse twice.
Okay.
You rouse once to add those dice to 1 attribute.
Okay, I definitely want to buff strength.
Okay.
I'm a little bit annoyed right now.
Your strength with prowess is at 5.
And And I would also like. Does it have to be separate, physical and social, or can it both be physical?
No, it can be either.
Oh, but I'll just do strength then.
Okay.
Because I'm going to retaliate against both of them.
Your strength is now 9.
I do not get hungrier from rousing the blood. Okay.
And you are fast enough to attack them both without penalty.
Okay, so my strength is currently 9. 4,
Now
5, 6,
you have a
7.
good deal of dice in Brawl, so I'm assuming you're not using a weapon.
Oh no, why would I need that?
Right.
Yeah, why? Why would
So
you need
it's
that?
Strength and Brawl,
You're a tank.
2 of these kindred.
So good.
Ironically, I have 3 blank dice left, but I'm not going to roll them. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
They're doomed. They're absolutely doomed. What do you do?
The one that hits me in the back, kind of, it's like almost like pushing against a wall. Asta is so set in her position. Doesn't even look back and just takes an elbow to the back. And the other one, when she comes back forward, cracks it against her knee.
An eruption of gore simply follows the motion of Asta's elbow as this being is hit so hard. Bones and flesh just fly apart. There's nothing left of this thing. It's been hit by a train. Those don't exist yet, but you get the meaning. The other is simply part of the floor. The marble breaks, creating a ditch.
You owe me a boon.
Of course.
The wall of bodies surrounding our dear sister. What would you wish to do with them?
How many demons are left?
There's one alive that is on fire that attacked Violet.
Okay. She's fine.
The one that attacked you is dead. And then there is one more.
I'm actually going to see what Asta just did. And nod in satisfaction. And then I'm going to point my lepers at the boy. And as I do so, tell this boy, let God arise, and let his enemies be scattered, and let them that hate him flee before his face. As smoke vanisheth, so shall them vanish away. As wax melteth before the fire, so let the wicked perish in the presence of God.
And as that turn passes and another begins, the boy's haze, he comes out of it, looks up as 12 lepers rush and attack him, grabbing his 6 legs, biting, pulling, and ripping with their unnatural strength. Some of his appendages begin to simply fall off and apart as the massive thorax holding up his human kindred side falls to the ground as he topples over onto his side, trying to quickly detach his abdomen from this thing. And he pulls out as green gunk and blood pull away from this insectoid body, and his human legs, frail and small, are trying to escape.
I yell to my homies, bring me his head.
Something happens no one thought they would ever see. He generally looks terrified as he meets his end from the undead servants of God. He is torn apart. Much of his body is decay, viscera, insects, centipedes flowing to the ground. However, they return to you a vertebrae and the head of a disgusting, yellow-skinned, gaunt, demonic-looking boy whose splendor and baby fat and innocence is revealed for what he was, an ugly, ancient being of pure evil.
The one on Violet is still on fire.
Yes.
I'll sort of do one of these at the my lepers, like take care of the rest. And I'm going
Thank
to
you.
walk over to my sovereign in his monstrosity form above the abbot.
Before you get a chance, Violet, as the crowd of lepers begin to rush towards the one that hurt you, a woman is tall, dressed in white, brings a hammer down on its head, crushing it indefinitely.
Is that my wife?
I know I was not supposed to come and I shouldn't be here, but I got really good at sneaking and
My creation!
these fucking things walked through town and they were dead and things were a problem. And I'm like, oh fuck, he said I could go to the ball and I didn't go to the ball, so this is gotta be okay.
No, this is perfectly fine. Thank you. And I like, as soon as like the thing's off of me, I just go to her arms, hug her, and then kiss her. Like, I'm so happy.
He kisses you back, but she's still holding the hammer going, like ready.
You're the best. I love you so much.
You set the thing on fire.
Yeah, you don't know about that.
Sister, are you still heading over to the fallen form of Abbott as the sovereign makes his way to his broken body?
Yeah. I would like to take the stake out from under my habits also.
It's in clear view now.
And if I could aim aptly towards the abbot's chest, I would like to do that also.
Sovereign. You see a broken kindred, not attempting to heal at your feet.
I'm gonna return to my normal form so I can speak. Abbott, why?
No place for me anymore. I thought my mind was the one place that I could truly be free. And I don't have that anymore. There's no home for me anymore. I never had one. Everything anybody knows about me is a lie. I don't fit.
You fitted in my dreams quite nicely. Us in the countryside, me wearing a splendid dress, cooking for you as you go gallivanting and having your adventures. At night, I would make you tea, wash your feet, and massage your calves. Warm your bed at night, and warm your heart in the morning. I'm not mad that you dealt with demons. I'm mad that you didn't invite me to go along with it.
I was afraid that you would say no. And I was afraid that he would hurt you.
I've never said no to you before.
You've never dealt with demons.
I've dealt with worse things. Demons, angels, gods, witches, mages, they're all kind of the same thing, slightly different.
In your dreams, I may be gallivanting and saving, but in real life, you are the one who's always saving. You're always saving me. But why? I'm not good. I'm selfish and flaky. I change my mind all the time. I keep you guessing all the time, but still, you are always here to save me when I get myself into trouble. How come?
Because I love you. I thought that was clear.
I don't think I'm worth loving. And I don't think I ever have been.
I think everyone thinks that from time to time. But there's not a single person in heaven or hell who doesn't deserve loving in some fashion. Aldrich, ask me to spare your life.
I don't like to ask you of things, but I will ask you this. Help me. I don't want this anymore.
He'll offer a hand to help Aldrich up and give him a hug, wrapping his arms around him. I am. And he'll rip him in half.
Aldrich will, before the ripping, kind of lay his head on your chest like a child and start crying, smiling, before he's ripped in half.
So do we start the ritual? I feel like you can sew them up, right?
I believe that is what they call bad timing, Violet.
I have that quite a bit.
It's a dark night. A friend, a lover, someone who may have been misunderstood or understood perfectly. He was very traumatic person. Dual nature. La Sombra to many, a Bali to others. It's almost like Abbott's mind was split in half long before he was blood bonded. His heart to Gamaliel. His friendship to the sister. Even some semblance of loyalties to Violet. Asta. Abbott, as things fade, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings?
I remember when I was studying in Great Britain at the monastery when I was a scribe, and the very first page of demonology that I inscribed included a small naked figure that I used to look at, and I would tear the piece off, put it in my pocket, and pull it out and look at it every once in a while. And when I saw Gamaliel the first time, their face reminded me exactly of that little small naked drawing that I used to love looking at in bed, that I used to hold in my pocket as a secret. And now I feel like that torn piece of paper. It wasn't Gamaliel. That little naked drawing was me.
And the world for you goes black until possibly your story continues somewhere else. Meanwhile, this room of survivors. Violet being held by Fleur, his sister. Your people standing, knowing you're not in danger, dormant. Asta, I'm assuming, taking it all in, while Gamaliel. How do you feel?
Yeah, Gamaliel is just staring down at what was once his love.
Called me his sister. I don't think he knows how sibling rivalries actually work.
He gave me the access to marry Fleur if I wanted to. From the church.
You don't need permission to marry anyone.
Thank you.
Gamaliel,
Yes.
could you have fixed it?
Maybe.
Did you want to?
These walls, despite how thick and pristine they are actually made of glass. The throne the throne I sit on is not that different. If I'm going to protect myself and the rest of my coterie, I can't abide by these betrayals over and over again.
Well, I'm going to take this, and I hold up the head. I think it will be safer in the church. Hard for things to come back on hollow ground.
All right.
Sovereign, my love to you. I loved him too.
He'll
Not the
attempt,
same way.
he'll attempt a hug. Hildegard.
Sister will hug back. She's a hugger.
Just gotta press on.
I should get this back. But do you mind if I leave some of these guys here so it's not as obvious walking down the street?
Oh, of course.
They'll just lay there.
Most people in here do.
They're not the kind I would suggest touching a whole lot.
All right.
And I just like bid half a dozen of them to go find a place to sit. I'm going to turn to Asta. That was quite impressive. Remind me never to cross you.
It is a good reminder that we are all more than we appear to be.
Indeed.
I would say the same to you.
Still have me secrets.
It's half the fun.
And then I'll look at Violet
I'll look back.
and Fleur. And with a deep sigh, I'm glad you have love.
I'm sorry I've hurt you.
Well, I have another hurt to worry about right now.
If you need anything.
No,
Okay.
I don't. Sovereign, I'll take my leave.
Violet, are you also taking your leave with Fleur?
I'm gonna stay by the Sovereign.
Okay. Asta, you as well.
I will stay until the Sovereign dismisses me.
He's just gonna sit on his throne and just like, God damn it.
As you look into the other room where these things came from, it's a regular wet room. No longer an access to the hellscape. The veil, for those with Sister's inclination, weakened for sure. The barrier remains. Sister, you head back to the monastery?
Yes, and I tuck my babies in.
There is a knock on your door.
I will answer it. Wiping the blood from my face.
It is Salah.
Somehow I knew it was going to be you.
I am sorry.
Are you?
I am.
What was the plan then?
To bring him back.
Beyond that.
Which plan?
The part where you the part with Miriam would be a good start.
Miriam had her own plan. I simply learned of it. Got ahead of it.
You responsible for Genoa then?
For the letter? Yes.
Why?
She is dead. She is a threat.
To whom?
Anyone who so simply says the wrong word to her. We cannot have cities with a quarter of the population wiped out because someone's hurt feelings. It's an unstable elder. Prince Enrico seemed to agree.
Darling, are you familiar with the story of Eve?
Enough. Yes.
And you know that after she was tempted by the serpent, God removed the serpent's legs and bid him to slither for the rest of life, eating dust. How do I know? How can I trust you? You told me that your blood was sacred and your God, and you shared it with 2 others, at least. So there's nothing special about me, is there?
Of course there is.
Then what is this? What are your plans? What do you want to do now?
You caused me to question many things about what I believe, sister. But there's Cain, there is Set, there is Adam, there is Eve, there is Moses. So many origins. Hard to wrap my head sometimes around which is which. But the fact remains the blood combined. I needed to bring Abbott back for you, for Gamaliel. You did not wish him to be brought back dead, diablerized, like many blood hunts go. He was not going to come any other way. The blood may be sacred. The only thing sacred I shared with anyone was you. And that was my heart. The blood is the blood. And I understand. I saw what happened before I came here. This is not the right night. To ask you to come to Iberia with me.
Sorry, what? You're leaving.
Only if you come too. Otherwise, I will stay.
Why?
I fear the Ashira will attack this place.
I have a few thoughts. That's not quite what I meant. Why would you stay?
Because I am a fool. Because I care about you. I can fight the war there, or I can fight the war here. I believe it was coming here. Making my home safer. Home is where the heart is, they say. I know not where my home truly lies, unless you are there too.
Can I roll insight?
Yes.
Right. Insight and what now? That'd be you ruined this beautiful moment by not trusting him.
What a jerk. You can do like a wits and insight.
What's an insight? That is 4 successes.
He is telling the truth. He is not going to counter roll.
Suffice to say, if I can leave those dear to me here safely and without threat of the Ashira, I will go with you.
And I believe the first order of business is to talk to that diplomat. Let her know the Bali are no longer here.
Yes,
And
that
try
was
to find some way to reach them.
Khadija?
Yes.
Yes. I have something that may be of value in that.
But
And I will open a small chest with a head in it.
his jaw hits the floor.
Yeah, we are a few in number, but we are not to be trifled with. I want you to remember that. And then I pinch his cheek.
How could I forget? You keep such splendid mementos of your victories.
We shall have to meet with the council then. Once we give our good sovereign enough time for mourning.
I agree. He gives you a hug.
I hug back.
You figured this out.
We have to.
At that, is there anything else that Violet, Asta, or Mitch would like to do before we close this chapter on our series?
In the room, I turn to Gam and I'm just like, that deal still stands whenever you need it. But I understand that it could take some time. So please feel no rush. I'm in no rush. Please take care of yourself.
Sorensen, please enjoy the rest of your night.
Whenever you require the boon for your floor, please do let me know.
I'll let you know. Thank you for everything.
Always.
So Violet will kind of nod to the both of them and look at Austin and be like, "You're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Says the one with fire for hands.
Maybe I could teach you that sometime."
I might be so inclined.
We'll talk about that later. And I take Flora's hand and look at Gam. Let's go. Anything you need me from? Or
Oh, actually, I figured you, myself, and Flo, we can go back upstairs and see where this night takes us.
I'll take your offer.
Excellent. And he'll pick up both Floor and Violet. Head on up to his tower.
And as our players wrap their evening, we're left with just one more thing. At St. Victor's Abbey, the number of monks without tongues begin to cry and wail. And Mila, the Crusader, feels something in her drop. Connection severed. Gone cold. And she knows what that means. She heads to the docks, grabs what monks will follow, and gets on board the Abbey Nostrum. With a plan. And a chest full of coins with Abbott's face on it. Seeking calling, a higher purpose, and perhaps revenge. As we close the book on this chapter of Vampire the Masquerade, The Dark Ages. I have been your storyteller, Rick Wheeler. Oops, all said I. With me this evening, this dark evening, as we lose our dear Abbott Aldrich. Where can they find all of you wonderful players? And thank you for everything tonight. This is such a blast and a roller coaster of emotions. And I think that sums up the last 5 sessions, which feel like they have each been a lifetime. I thank you all so much for making this story happen. And we'll make more stories as well. But first, where can they find each one of you lovely people? I'm going to start picking people, if you know.
Yeah, you can find me, Mitchell, at Penny for a Tale to get an update on all the shenanigans we have going on. If you haven't backed the Kickstarter, you'll have the opportunity to pre-order in about a month when I get that situated. But if you were lucky enough to have backed it before, you would see what is up on the horizon for myself and for some awesome
Necrobiotic, yes.
Yes, go check it out. Oh gosh, so many cool things happening. So yeah, this was super awesome. And goddamn you, Mark. Goddamn you, man.
You are one hell of a player, Mitch, and I really enjoyed
it. My romance.
I'm awful, and I am Mark Q. Anderson. I really enjoyed this series way too much, and I think Rick, you said it best that these sessions didn't really feel like only 5 sessions. It feels like a really long time, which is, I think, a tell of a really fun game. Make sure that you come back here, twitch.tv/Gehenna Gaming, Saturday night. That is June 12th at 8 p.m. for a very special Saturday night one-shot of Shadowrun, run by Ben Big Dad from Carrying Comfort Studios. So Carrying Comfort is graciously enough to pair with us to do Shadowrun. And I haven't played Shadowrun in a really long time. And me and Rick are going to be in that game, and I'm pretty excited about it.
I've never played it.
Oh, man.
So much fun.
Good luck.
He made me a character, and it's bonkers.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I'm going to love it.
Yeah, it's going to be wild and fun and silly, and I can't wait for that. Because especially after this game being so dark and emotionally heavy, if you want more Vampire the Masquerade, hang out here Or you can go over to the Renegade Game Studios Twitch. That's twitch.tv/playrenegade for The Nightlife, which is starring Jennifer Kretschmer, obviously Cynthia Marie, who we love dearly, Gabe Hicks. We also have Nora Ibram. We also have Diana D'Amico, and she is storytelling, and I'm really, really excited about this. So if you want to watch more Vampire the Masquerade, check it out. It's Elysium Weekend. So I'm
excited to see her storytell. She's really good in games, as is Cynthia and everyone. And Jennifer recently wrote on to D&D, Candlekeep Mysteries. So that's fun. Nora Abrams, a blast and everything I've seen her in, and she's even run some games with us. So that's going to be really cool. But yes, it's Elysium Weekend for World of Darkness. They've got Vampire the Masquerade Rivals and a bunch of other games going. So we wish them the best of luck. I'm going to have to check out the Jason Carl Storyteller stream that he did as the video on demand, because I love to watch anything he is in. So yeah, lots of great stuff on the horizon. But back to our cast. Dana, before you go, it is actually Dana's birthday weekend, and we wish her the happiest of birthdays. She is the best bee I have ever met, and we adore our friend. So happy birthday, Dana.
Happy
birthday.
Yeah, I'm going to be old on Sunday. I say as one of the youngest people here.
I will take resident baby in the Scotery then after that.
Because am I like a month or two older than you?
Yes.
It matters. It's competition.
I think everybody here is resident baby except for Rick.
Yeah, Rick's the old one. We're babies.
I feel young. So where can they find you, Dana?
You can find me on the internet in plenty of places at Dana Lee B. I do other TTRP streams. I'm really sad this game is ending. Generally, you can just find me on Twitter, just hanging out. I took the weekend off for my birthday, and all I'm doing is I'm actually being rather productive this weekend. I don't know what's wrong with me. I thought I was going to spend all my time playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but I've been doing room rearrangements, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. But I also get to play more VTM tomorrow with another game, and I'm super excited.
Beautiful. Elliot, where can I find you?
Hi, I'm Elliot. I've been Violet, and I have a lot of emotions, as Violet does. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Chaos Them, but if you want to see me just geeking out about vampires and other stuff, you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Elliot. Boy, this has been an experience, and I did not expect it to end with Violet hooking up with Gam and Floor. I did not plan that.
I saw it coming.
I think we may have all seen this coming.
I'm the asexual. I did not see this coming.
Calamity Casey.
Yeah.
Where can they find you and the wonderful things you do?
Well, you can find me everywhere at Calamity Casey, especially on Twitter. But I'm also the co-host of a podcast called Strange and Unusual Podcast. We talk about death and corpses and true crime and dark history. And there was a pope who was put on trial as a corpse. Check it out. Right now we're doing a mini series about Pride for June. So
I've been binging on that podcast, by the way.
Me too.
It's so fucking good.
So I love
So
Unsolved Mysteries, and the Unsolved Mysteries podcast is great. But Strange and Unusual is better because it's all of that, but funny. Because you and Rhea are hilarious.
Well, thank you.
While Unsolved Mysteries sometimes does creep me out and gets me with the feels, your episodes are like, oh, that's creepy, and then I laugh. So that's even better.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Could not ask for higher compliments.
Right on. I'll write that Google review. So what's next for the Dark Ages? Well,
what is next?
These people will be back. This cast will return. Mark may be somebody else. I have no idea what or who he will be.
Yeah, I figure
Oh.
we find a vampire, flesh craft him and look like Aldrich, and then
Yeah.
Albert Aldrich, we got him back. Woo!
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
maybe
no-
this guy won't break all of our fucking hearts.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
Mark
Maybe
can
this
just
time.
chill for a fucking
Yeah,
minute.
we just
Maybe
make
Mark won't be disgusting for 2 minutes.
we will make a shovel head right here. We're just gonna go out, find a person, bury them, and be like, all right, you're now Abbott Aldrich. Here's
Yeah.
your history. Welcome
I-
to the coterie.
Are you a good person? No, move out of the way. What about you?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Bonk.
I almost want to vote to have you take Norfie, the Viking, and portray him in this game.
I love Norfie.
Me too. So this cast will return. However, there's some surprising news we have for y'all. We have a second Dark Ages cast. Second game. Set in this world, in this timeline, with other players, one of which is the child of St. Regis, who is played by our good friend Joe, DJ Toreador on Twitter. We have him being put on trial for the murder of St. Regis. Oh, that's a rumor that got out of control. But, you know, it's France and politics be politics. So he's been picked up by the Ventru. We'll see how that goes, because he has recently boarded a ship called the Promethean. Now, the Promethean is like a floating Elysium with its captain, Aldrich Keats, played by our good friend, regular size mom, who's often in a lot of our games. That's Rosie. A Sedite brewer patriot, played by Ben, Big Dad, who's running Shadowrun tomorrow. A Nosferatu navigator, who is played by Leslie Wombat, who's in a bunch of our games, and Caring Comfort, all good friends of ours. The Ventru is played by Twin Dad, another friend of ours. Most of them from the Philly area. You know, this is a good talent in Philly. Stay tuned, because I believe possibly as early as next week, we may air episode 1 of that game, which is pre-recorded. And the rest will follow suit. So you can stay tuned for another whole Dark Ages series, folks, and see where this interesting tale of political espionage and intrigue
And heartbreak.
may go. There may be heartbreak even.
And fucking.
And well, you're not there, so but one can hope. This is an adult stream, so it's going to be fun. We'll see where their adventures take them. Their adventures may just take them back to Marseille. That's on them.
Yeah, tell them they have an invitation to
shit.
Galameel's personal room, the moist room.
We may need a bigger. We may need a bigger overlay. We make those all the time. That's okay. It's an interconnected world, and not only will that cast premiere and this cast return, but there are other games we have run for Dark Ages in which we may see returning players.
Technically, all of the Dark Ages games, which I think there have been 3 or 4 that you have run for the various conventions like Onyx PathCon, like Virtual Horror Con, they all are set in the same world during the same timeline, I believe.
Aside from Vikings, the first one.
Yep.
The rest of the ones I have run are actually all connected by several things. There's several Easter eggs and things that are tying many of these games together that we will eventually run into. So that's the fun of having series with wonderful people and stories to tell. So thank you for joining us for this chapter of Dark Ages. I cannot wait to play with these people again. But we'll have more adventures and new faces at the table as well, and grow this wonderful world of Dark Ages together. Thank you so much. This has been a blast. We hope to see you next week. Stay tuned for Shadowrun tomorrow, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Praise
It
Satan.
is a-
Hail Satan!